Yeah. Yes, excuse me. We will be back in a minute to explain what that clip was all about. We had some technical problems here, but we will be back to explain what Justin Trudeau was saying and what his father was saying, because it's radically different. We'll be right back with more.
So we are in a very precarious position in this country. We need political change, but we also need to resolve to resist.
Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for supporting the station. And we really appreciate it. If you could right now tell your friends and family to support what we're doing here, because we think it's important. We think it's different. We think it's, shall we say, a little more analysis you'll get, but I'm not going to talk about that. I'm going to show this clip again in case you missed it at the beginning, because we had some technical difficulties, and then we'll talk it. We'll take it from there.
Had a great snowstorm last night. The skies were right. Went for a long walk. Came back at midnight. Took a sauna. Got rid of all the accumulation of baggage, and just made up my mind.
Are you gonna miss it?
No. I talked to my boys this morning. They were happy, so it makes it great.
What made your mind up?
It just sounded right. As I say, I had a good day, and it was a great walk in the snow, and I went to judo, felt very combative, and here I am.
All right. So, note here, he said he talked to his boys. Amongst them was Justin Trudeau. He told his boys he had made a decision after almost 16 years as prime minister that it was time to go. And at that juncture in Pierre Trudeau's life, it was time to go. And he realized that. And he had the sanity and the clear mindedness to say, I'm out of here, folks. Justin Trudeau doesn't share that sanity and share mindedness with his, or sane mindedness with his father. It's clear from what's going on here. And let's watch a couple. Well, look at this. Trudeau's cabinet shuffle. Look at this. We talked about this yesterday. Nobody getting on board, the exception of David McGuinty. I will give David McGuinty some points for heading up the National Intelligence Probe. This guy has been a member of Parliament for over 20 years and overlooked by everybody. Now, Trudeau just brought him in at the last moment as a desperation act. There's no question about that. So, what's the issue today? Now, the NDP will bring down the government. Now, okay. I don't know if this is true. Jagmeet Singh also put out a video, you might recall, last September. He put out a video saying he's ripping up the agreement. And he literally went like this: I'm ripping up the agreement with the Trudeau Liberals. Not going to happen anymore. I am going to be my own man. And after he did that, he successfully voted with the Trudeau government on 6 occasions. So, can we trust Jagmeet Singh? I don't. If it's in writing, can we trust Jagmeet Singh? I don't know. I don't believe it. I hope so. But I really do think Justin Trudeau can't keep this going for much longer. And Pierre Poilievre, of course, is saying I'm not going to wait until Parliament comes back on January 27th. And all I can say is, well, duh. How stupid are our politicians in Canada today? No. Well, they're off on Christmas vacation, back at home, having their levees with the faithful. All parties for that matters. Donald Trump will be the next president of the United States on January 20th. So maybe it's a good time right now to have a plan. Instead of going off on Christmas vacation, you guys get enough vacation time during the year. We'll give you some more, maybe in May. But it's hard if you look at the calendar in terms of how much time our MPs get off. It's hard to find more time off than they actually serve in the House of Commons. So, okay, maybe no, June won't work either. Okay, maybe this is a national emergency. Maybe you have to come back to Parliament. I think Poilievre has got the right idea here. We've got to get them back and have a non confidence motion. And we need an election before January 27th when they're all coming back. This is absolutely insane. Look at these numbers. And this confirms what I've said for the last couple of weeks. It's nice to have the polling confirm what you've been saying. Okay, I know Pierre Poilievre is going to get a supermajority, yes. But this is the first poll I've seen that actually outlines potentially what I've said in the last couple of days. The Bloc Québécois will be the official opposition. I said that yesterday and the day before. The NDP will be reduced, I said, to 5 or 10 seats, and the Liberals to 5 or 10 seats. Based on what I'm seeing here, yeah, that's possible. Oh, God, I hope we get rid of the Green Party, though. But this is absolutely incredible that Justin Trudeau would keep it. And look at this. This is where we're heading in the winter election that's coming. And this will be a winter election. Jagmeet Singh says so. Now, can we trust Jagmeet Singh? Well, I think in this instance, it's got nothing to do with Jagmeet Singh. I think there are probably about 30 MPs behind him with knives, or the entire NDP coalition saying, do it now or else you're out. Knowing full well that Jagmeet Singh will be defeated in the next election. You know, and that's exactly what's happening right now. Jagmeet Singh hasn't got a prayer in hell of staying on as leader of the official or of the NDP opposition or any opposition. He will not be the official opposition. And he sure as hell must know he won't be the prime minister if he's at 17%. And there's Trudeau. Look at it. Oh, God, Trudeau's never looked more confident. And this picture was taken a day or two after Chrystia Freeland resigned as the finance minister. No, he is confident he's going to be there. Now, lots of folks have asked me, now, why do you think Justin Trudeau, and I must apologize, my relaxed dress today. I went right from the gym over here. Just had time to have a shower. But why do you think Justin Trudeau is so confident? Well, I have held this back, and a lot of people have been saying this in the comments section. I think Justin Trudeau knows he has a job at the end of this. I think Justin Trudeau knows the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, and the rest of them will look after him. Now, I think they're telling him right now, just stay the course. Stand on guard for the interests of globalism. That's what he's doing right now. This is why you see Justin Trudeau completely oblivious to it. I don't know if it's I have to be very careful how I phrase this. I don't know if it's a habit problem, though it seems to be. And it might be that as well. But Justin Trudeau truly believes that he can not only take over the Liberal Party again and run for re-election, but it's almost like somebody's whispering in his ear right now and saying, yes, Justin, you can do it. You can do it. Keep us going. Keep us going in Canada, because the alternative looks a lot worse for us. So I think that's what's going on. I really, really believe that. Let's watch some of this here.
The next episode of the chaotic clown show that is costing Canadians after 9 years of this NDP Liberal government. And look at all the players in this drama. They're taking care of themselves, fighting for their own personal self-interest while they embarrass the country, tank our dollar, unleash crime and chaos in our community, threaten our trade relationship with our biggest partner. Let's go through these players. Justin Trudeau, who egomaniacally holds on to power even though 80% of Canadians want to fire him. Then there's Chrystia Freeland, who is just fine with doubling the debt, doubling housing costs, doubling the number of people going to food banks, quadrupling the carbon tax, breaking the immigration system, but then suddenly had a change of heart the second she realized she was getting a demotion. So it was really all about her. A demotion that would see her replaced with carbon tax Carney, who had committed to the Prime Minister that he would take the job of Finance Minister after he, as the economic advisor after all, helped write this fall economic update with a $62 billion deficit included in it. And then you have Jagmeet Singh, who, after he duped you all and claimed he'd ripped up his deal with Trudeau, voted 8 times to keep Trudeau in office over the last session of Parliament, and including voting against a non-confidence motion that was made up of his own words 11 days ago. If he had voted for his own words, we would be a third of the way into an election campaign right now. But he suddenly had an epiphany and says that he can no longer support the costly chaos that he has enabled as part of the NDP Liberal coalition. This is quite the drama with all these personalities that you're all breathlessly covering, but I'm interested in the dramas of other people, real people, the people who have seen their housing costs doubled, rising faster than any other G7 country, the 2 million people lined up at food banks, which is also double, the 50% increase, people who are part of the 50% more crime victims, or the 116% more gun crime victims since Trudeau took office, or the millions that are unemployed as our economy collapses, or the seniors who will struggle to put food on the table after our dollar tanked in the middle of all this chaotic clown show on Monday, now below 70 cents a litre for the first time in almost 2 decades. I worry about the workers whose wages are stagnant while American workers boom because our investment per worker has collapsed by 23%. I worry about the single moms who are struggling to pay for the massive increase in food prices that have gone up 37% faster in Canada than in the United States, something that coincided with the NDP Liberal carbon tax on farmers and truckers. I worry about the 28% of Canadians who said they're considering moving to another country because life has become so hellish after 9 years of this NDP Liberal government. I worry about the children who will inherit the $1.2 trillion debt. More debt was added in the last 9 years of this NDP Liberal government than in all prior governments combined. I worry about the families who've lost were among those who've lost people to drug overdoses. Now 47,000 Canadians have died, more than died in the Second World War, after the NDP Liberals liberalized hard drugs and allowed our border to fly open. I worry about the people who've lost hope in this country. They are the ones we should be focused on. Instead, we're focusing on the chaotic clown show that is costing Canadians today. This cannot go on. With a U.S. president coming in threatening tariffs early next year, we cannot have a chaotic clown show running our government into the ground. What is clear is that Justin Trudeau does not have the confidence of Parliament. Since the last confidence votes happened, there have been 3 major developments. 1, the Leader of the Bloc says he's changed his mind. He no longer has confidence in the Prime Minister. 2, just today, Jagmeet Singh claimed that he no longer has confidence in the Prime Minister, albeit he intends to wait until he gets his pension, until he votes accordingly. But still, he says he's lost confidence. And then there are 18 Liberal MPs, including the former Deputy Prime Minister, who've all lost confidence in the Prime Minister. Add them all up and you have 70% of parliamentarians who do not have confidence in the Prime Minister. And in the middle of a trade, border, crime, and cost of living emergency. This cannot go on.
Okay, that's really the key point here, is that the Trudeau government is setting up a trade war with Donald Trump because the Trudeau government thinks that's going to win the next election. Now, do you think for a minute that Justin Trudeau is that stupid? No, he's politically very smart. Economically, everything else, he's pretty dumb. But he can figure out how he could possibly win the next election. And I'm going on board saying this today. This is how he could win the next election. By posing himself as the one person who can stop Donald Trump from taking over Canada. That's what he's going to do. And that's why he's staying aboard. That's why he's going to remain the Liberal leader. And I tell you, there is no mechanism within the Liberal Party. I've told you this many times before. There's no mechanism within the Liberal Party to remove a leader right now. It literally takes the next convention. There's no leadership review option for Liberals. So Justin Trudeau knows that. He can stay leader as long as he wants, even if all of his MPs say, we want you gone. They won't say, we want you gone, if the government falls in January and there's nobody else to take his place. And this is what Justin Trudeau is up to. And Poilievre understands this to some degree. But let's listen to some more.
And that is why, in just a few moments, I will be writing the Governor General, asking her to urgently reconvene Parliament and require a non-confidence vote so the Prime Minister can judge whether he stays in power, continuing to ruin our country, or whether we get an axe the tax election to allow Canadians to take back control of their lives and their country. With a Prime Minister who can take back control of our borders, our immigration, our spending, our cost of living, who will get rid of the GST on new homes and axe the carbon tax to bring down the cost of living, to show a strong, smart presentation to the incoming president with a new Prime Minister that has the brains and backbone to put Canada first. Thank you.
Comment vous allez faire pour convaincre?
So clearly, Pierre Poilievre has the brains and the backbone to put Canada first. He's finally using that expression again, put Canada first. But we need to understand where he stands in other issues, but of course, yes, it's a fait accompli. He is headed towards the largest majority in history. And I say amen to that. But I also say, if you want to elect other folks who are conservative, go ahead, because Poilievre is not going to lose this election. And we will be having Maxime Bernier on the show next week to discuss the current parameters of the next election. But why is Justin Trudeau not leaving? I mean, what's going on here?
Mr. Miller, why are you telling the Prime Minister that he should stay on?
Well, my conversations with the Prime Minister will obviously remain confidential. I think the important thing to remember that if you're a minister sitting around the cabinet table, confidence in the Prime Minister is not optional, and I'll leave it at that.
And why do you think he's the right leader to lead the Liberal Party in the next election?
Well, we have, in the next 60 days, an existential threat for the Canadian economy, for people that could lose their jobs. The unemployment rate could double. We need to focus on that, and I think he's the best to lead us in a very difficult situation. We can't be in a situation where the government has no ability to fight back, and that's what needs to happen.
And now we have the opposition party calling for an election.
Are you going to prorogue?
Well, Pierre Poilievre is pulling another one of his convoy moves. They tried that going to the Governor General and tried to turn some weird trick that somehow gets Pierre Poilievre where he needs to be. So it's another shtick. Is he going to bring donuts and coffee to the Governor General at the same time with his convoy people? I mean, this is ridiculous. So these are games. We have to be serious and make sure that we're focusing on the next 60 days.
Even the
Is your
NDP
government
does.
considering proroguing? Are you considering proroguing?
Okay, so let me get this straight. I'm sorry for the technical glitch there. Mark Miller is saying, I didn't quite get that. He's saying if you support the convoy, you're some sort of fascist. But he's also, apparently, from what I read today, the only Liberal cabinet minister who actually said, stay on, Justin. And Mark Miller, who is I can't stand the guy because he constantly delivers ad hominem insults against Pierre Poilievre, not against his policy, but against Pierre because he thinks he's just a horrible person. I think Mark Miller is a horrible person who should not be representing Canada and immigration. The guy is an he's a clown. He's a failure. He is completely without any resolve to stop the border crisis. I mean, what's going on here? We have an immigration minister. This is what nobody is actually asked. And excuse me for saying, but we don't need a border czar right now. Why is Dominic LeBlanc refusing to stop things at the border? That shouldn't be his responsibility. It should be the immigration minister. It should be jointly responsible. Dominic LeBlanc should be saying, hey, Mark, things aren't going well at the border. But Mark Miller just loves Justin Trudeau. And they have been friends for years. And I have pictures to substantiate that. They have been friends for years, and this is what Dominic LeBlanc is all about. It's like, I'm going to get out of the... I think Dominic LeBlanc would have done a terrible job as public safety minister. But he has invited this. So we have somebody doing the public safety minister, David McGuinty. I think David McGuinty actually is the only choice they could have had. But at the same time, who's encouraging Justin Trudeau to stay on as prime minister? I can tell you who. Mark Miller Dominic LeBlanc. And what happened? What happened here to Melanie Joly? I had so many people contact me saying, this is the end of Melanie Joly. I said, no, 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 no. As bad as that was, with her going with her New York Times pictorial, Trudeau will not fire Melanie Joly for two reasons. The first of which is because they're very close. I won't take that any further. They're very close. The second of which is Melanie Joly is the only element of sex appeal to this liberal government. They have nothing else. And in Justin Trudeau's little mind, that matters more than anything. He might pretend he's a feminist, but I'll tell you what Justin Trudeau is like. He's like that guy on Friday afternoon who's hopped up on something, I won't say what, and decides to go to the strip club. That's what Justin Trudeau is all about. And he continues this, and he thinks you can just ignore it. But that's what Justin Trudeau is all about. Anyway, thanks so much for watching today. We love you. We're going to watch your show here. No, we're going to watch the...
Ho, 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 ho!
Thanks for watching today, folks. We'll be back again tomorrow.